What's up, guys, and welcome back to the UGC Dota 2 League. This is going to be a North American Steel game, of course, best of two as always, between two teams that have probably the worst team names that I have ever had the pleasure to pronounce. I will purchase Perseverance. I mean, the names aren't bad, they're just way too freaking long. I can't say that. I will purchase Perseverance versus the Suburban Redevelopment Fund. Like, seriously, your name is supposed to have like 3 syllables max. Anything else, then it's just like pointless to say. They have different names when the game is actually going to launch and we're outside of the draft screen, which is nice, I suppose. But for right now, the names are absolutely terrible, and it's going to be really hard to pronounce them. But anyway, this is, of course, going to be a best of 2, and it's, as I said, from North America, so hopefully there aren't going to be any ping issues with teams disagreeing on what servers they want to go to and everything like that. Mutually agreed upon US East seems like a good way to start. And this is still from the group stage. It is still a long ways away until we get to any sort of elimination area. So both teams are going to be competing for upper spots in the group. That's why we have best of 2, because, well, first of all, I just like having a guaranteed 2 games. It's very easy to plan around as far as scheduling is concerned. But also, it's good for getting group standings. Best of 1s are also fine with that as well. But we're in the draft, guys. We see Mag being banned out rather early. It is a hero that's been seeing quite a bit of play. Partner him up with someone like a PA, or anyone that's melee, or hell, even someone like Dota. Anyone who could benefit from plus damage. And I don't know of many heroes that would say no to plus damage. Seems like a pretty good thing to have to me. So, I mean, it's a very popular hero. First ban worthy. I'm not entirely convinced. I would say Ogre Magi is definitely a more dangerous first ban. I would say Brewmaster is definitely a more dangerous first ban. The Brewmaster, for some reason, still in the pool, as I will purchase Perseverance, are going to be picking up Viper and Jakiro as their openers. I mean, both the flyers are pretty good as far as, killing people, but definitely no Death Prophet or Brewmaster. Those are really just 2 heroes that slip through the cracks between these 2 games. This isn't going to be your S+ tier ranking games. This isn't going to be Star Ladder, guys. This is no EG versus Secret, but still you would expect to see the top tier heroes getting the respect they deserve. I think Brewmaster should be involved in this game one way or another, and if he's completely skipped, then I will be completely baffled. Regardless, Viper Jakiro, very solid in their laning, and if it is going to be a core Jakiro, going to be giving I will purchase Perseverance a lot of pushing power as well. The Viper is most likely not going to lose his lane. That's something that very rarely happens, and versus the banned out Razor, he should have a pretty good time, pretty much no matter what Suburban are going to be picking up. With the Ogre Magi Tidehunter opening on them, what they have right now, the Radiant team, is a lot of melee heroes, which isn't good. You never want to have too many melee heroes, because then suddenly you're going to get punished by the likes of Jakiro. So already that's not really good for them. However, they are very tanky. So even though they may be clumping up, try to get their skills, try to get their right clicks in, they will be able to survive a lot of that damage. And Ogre Magi partnered up with someone like a Skywrath Mage who, again, for some reason is still in the pool and no one is actually picking him. This is going to be an incredibly potent combo for either team, whoever wants to pick that up. It should be a little bit better for the Radiant than it is going to be for the Dire, but it's still such a powerful hero that you could pick him up no matter what and just be completely happy with your circumstances. Looks like Suburban, with the Spectre and Silencer going to be banned out, they want to go for what looks like just complete teamfight dominance. I mean, that's what happens when you have a Tidehunter on your team already, and then you want to get rid of anyone who could disrupt that, namely the Silencer as far as that is concerned, but also you want to be able to crush them as a full 5-on-5. You want to just take the fight, take it strong, take it hard, without having to worry about anyone coming in afterwards. And that's why the Spectre is also banned out. So I would be expecting to see a Brewmaster here from Suburban, although going for a Shadow Shaman, not the hero I really would have expected. I think you could probably wait until last pick to pick him up. But, yeah, where's the Brewmaster? Where's the Skywrath Mage? Like, what the hell? These are 2, like, first picks. Like, teams actually just hope and pray that they get these heroes first picked. But they're not here. They are not here, and it is freaking weird to see, guys. Regardless, Shadow Shaman gonna give the Suburban side a little bit more team fight. Not that much, but mostly it's going to be in the pushing and in the lockdown. Now against the picked up Mirana from Perseverance, the lockdown is going to be extremely useful. Both their supports are going to be wielding quite a bit of lockdown disables, stuns, and disables. I guess that, yeah, hexes. No better way to put hex, I suppose. Stuns and hexes and shackles galore from Suburban, Whereas I will purchase Perseverance with this Mirana pick. I mean, it's a good hero, but do you really want to have a Mirana and a Jakiro as your dual support combo? Probably not. So that means that one of them is going to be taking more of a core role. One of them wants to be farming just a little bit more than the other. I'm inclined to think it's going to be still a core Jakiro, just because you don't really pick up a Jakiro if you don't have intentions of taking him in a core role. If you just want a random support hero, then Jakiro is probably not going to be your person. Again, that's where Scarith Mage comes in. But if you want a hero that can push, and you want to be pushing, and you want to be super aggressive, then that's where the Jakiro comes in, and that's really in a core role where he will hit that stride pretty effectively. The Mirana, it's a hero that you could pick up third, and you could be perfectly okay with it. Maybe they're going to go for a little bit more setup, as if they are the support combo, then the arrows will be very difficult to land. Ice Path usually needs a little bit of setup as well. Something like a Shadow Demon will be very good for Perseverance. And it won't be very good. It'll be serviceable. Maybe they want to go for a Bane instead. Either way, the heroes will just... They need someone who could set up something, because with their free-handed skills, it's going to be unlikely that they're actually going to land. With Suburban side right now, they got their support duo lined up. I'll be very surprised to see if either of these two heroes are going to be played in anything except for a pure support role. And then a Zeus. Well, that definitely happened. Now, Zeus is a hero that I thought some pro said that Zeus should be picked up more against Terrorblade, and I'm completely okay with that. Like, Zeus is going to be the heaviest magic dealer you could find, and, well, probably. I mean, sometimes. Scarith Mage sometimes seems like he puts out a lot more, but as far as killing off people with magic, Zeus is your guy. I will purchase Perseverance, though. They're pretty tanky. I mean, Viper just has Corrosive Skin. That makes him tanky enough, and he usually builds tanky as well. And then Jakiro, and now the Centaur, both very tanky heroes. Jakiro, not super tanky, but he is tanky for an intelligence hero, for a support hero. Mirana's really the only one who get hit by this. So Perseverance, assuming they are going to get BKBs and or pipes, hoods, all that good stuff, then suddenly Suburban find themselves in a very physical damage light team comp. Right now, their peak, unless they go for something like a Medusa or an Anti-Mage as their last pick, is going to be at about 30 minutes. That's going to be where Zeus is no longer hitting hard enough. I mean, he's always going to be hitting hard. He's no longer going to be hitting hard enough to justify the pick and have him be powerful enough to kill the entire team by himself. Unless he just gets off to an outrageous start, which is possible. But with this Medusa pickup, it signifies that Suburban do not plan on picking up an Anti-Mage. I mean, it could just be any other carry hero. You will never find a shortage of carry heroes. Maybe we're going to be seeing a Phantom Assassin by them with Bloodlust, or any hero with Bloodlust is a pretty good carry. I will purchase Perseverance, have a good amount of disables, they have a good amount of initiation with the Blinking Centaur. So going for someone like a Weaver is okay, but not the best. Morphling kind of the same way. We do see a Juggernaut being banned out. Perseverance definitely fearful of the Suburban pushing potential, but really it's just Shadow Shaman wards. I don't really think that's anything to be too scared of. I mean, you could, of course, get some major healing ward value on Ogre Magi and Tidehunter just being such tanky heroes, but the odds of that happening with a Zeus pickup are rather unlikely. Something like a Nature's Prophet might not be too bad for the Radiant side either. Getting heroes that will just be able to scale somewhat into the late game, but pretty much peak early on, are going to be the goals. Maybe we're going to be seeing a Sven from Suburban. That wouldn't be too bad. But really, with the Zeus is just such a weird hero to see, especially fourth pick. Like, if you're going to be picking up a Zeus, you should do it last, because you're never, ever going to have to worry about Zeus being banned out, at least in this stage in Dota. So they could have picked up this last hero first, and it is going to be that Morphling after all. So that's their late game insurance plan. That's another hero that does quite a bit of magical damage, and well, right now the Morphling is going to have late game pretty much on lockdown. Viper and Mirana, they're okay late game, but nothing compared to a Morphling. That being said, still, Perseverance have very tanky heroes, so if it does go to a late game stage, Ethereal Blade combo, probably not going to be the best. I would say in this game you might want to forego the Ethereal Blade altogether, in fact. I mean, you will be able to amplify Zeus's damage and get a little bit of amplification with Ogre Magi. Could be a sick combo, but it is unlikely to happen. It does seem like a pretty expensive item and a pretty narrow usage of said item in order to just get a little bit of teammate amplification. Probably not worth it. So Perseverance, what is going to be their follow-up after this? They got the Centaur initiation already, so they don't need anything else unless they really want to go deep and pick up a Bat Rider. I don't think that'll be the best way to go, though. Again, another setup support should be good if you're going to be running a core Jakiro, play this super aggressively. I would like to see them do that. So maybe we're going to be seeing a Shadow Demon, but Suburban seem to think that the Medusa is going to be, or a hard carry is going to be the order of business for Perseverance. I don't think that's the best way to go. I think at this point, Mirana core is probably a little bit better, or Jakiro core. Then you really want to have set up for the other one. But it's going to be an Ember Spirit, so it will just be a Jakiro-Mirana support duo. I mean, they're not the worst support heroes in the world. They don't really work too well together, and they won't really be able to get that much help from the rest of the heroes on their side. Like, Ember Spirit, maybe he'll have Searing Chains to set something up, but for the most part, they're going to be working with free-handed Ice Paths and free-handed arrows. And those are, if they land, fantastic. But if they don't, then your supports are not going to do jack. Whereas you compare that to the Ogre Magi Shadow Shaman, you are in for much more guaranteed stuns and disables. See, look. This is Lena Dota and Phelps. It's so easy. Why don't they just have those names all the freaking time? That'll be so much easier. Hey, let's get Lena. We'll do Lena today. Today's a Lena day. Alright guys, we are in the game, and we will see who is going to be playing what on either side. On the Phelps side, we got Ratatatat playing the support Shadow Shaman. Chopperino is going to be on the carry. Morphling Bubla is going to be on the Ogre Magi. Very close to Bulba. I'm sure I'm going to make that mistake. Mercy's going to be playing Tide Hunter, at least Pumpkin's Revenge on the Zeus with Static Field level 1. Okay, so here's how Static Field works, guys. It doesn't do anything. Like, you could press the skill and it doesn't do anything. Like, it actually just doesn't happen. So getting it level 1 literally does nothing for you. Like, literally it does nothing. And I say, like, literally takes no damage and stuff like that. And I'm usually joking. I'm using literally, not in the literal sense. But this actually just doesn't do anything. So this is a mistake already from the Zeus. Not a good sign. And maybe they know about it. I mean, it's obviously not going to be doing something. They're going to try to hide in the Roshan pit. I don't think it was scouted by this observer ward. It seems to be a little bit out of range, and although they did ping it, so they're going to be waiting to jump someone on Lena Dota, and they might be successful. In the meantime, on the Lena Dota side, we got Attila, the Centaur, going towards the bottom lane with Anteater handling the mid lane Viper. Top lane is going to be a tri-lane, Jakiro being played by Grim. Grant Derlin is going to be on the Mirana. That leaves King Liger on the Ember Spirit. Not really your most classic of tri-lanes. I think I would have liked to see the Ember Spirit and Viper make a little bit of a switcheroo. The Ember Spirit Flame Guard and the fact that he can actually go aggressive versus the Zeus makes it a little bit more feasible in the lane. I mean, wait. What? I have no clue what's going on, guys. He just denied a double damage rune. Now, okay, it's like, I don't know about you guys, or I don't know, but it seems to me that double damage runes are good, because the bounty rune was taken, bottom lane was secured bounty for the Morphling, and that's fine. I mean, that you take the rune, you either give it to your support, you give it to someone who's trying to rush a bottle or boost something, or you just give it to her carry and just be fine with that. But you take the double damage rune, like, he could be doing so much damage right now, and I think that was a double damage rune. There's a chance that was a regen, and I just looked at it wrong, in which case, fine. But if that was double damage, then seriously, what's going on? So, because if it was a double damage, then that is going to be the second giant misplay that we have seen already this game. Mercy with the Kraken Shell is more of a stylistic choice than anything else, and you can't really blame him for that. He does know that there is quite a bit of disable on the enemy side, and he will need that protection. Now Zeus has level 2, and now he has Arc Lightning, but he actually got 2 CS out of that first creep wave. I'm actually pretty surprised. Versus the Viper, you wouldn't really expect it to be getting that much. And Viper is actually fully prepared for this matchup. He has Magic Stick already. Unfortunately for the Viper, Magic Stick only works if the enemy Zeus has Arc Lightning, and it doesn't do anything when he picks up level 1 Static Field. But Anteater should be able to put the pressure on this Zeus shortly. At level 3, he should be getting Poison Attack, and then he should be maxing out Corrosive Skin in this matchup. This Viper should have this lane more or less on lockdown. It is slightly possible that the Zeus get a kill on the Viper, but that's only if the Viper plays things very recklessly. If he plays safe, he plays secure, he should not be dying, at least in any feasible world. In the bottom lane, the Centaur is in quite a bit more trouble, as is the Tide Hunter. I mean, Mirana poking isn't really the most dangerous hero, with Stout Shield being picked up level 1 from the Tide. He's going to be taking very little damage from any source at all. Dare I say, literally no damage. Now, he's going to be taking damage, but not that much. And he's going to get certain chances to do that, walk up and then anchor smash a creep wave. And generally, if you time it right, you will be able to get 1 CS at the very least. And then just do stuff like this, because Mirana with 45 base damage is none too threatening. Like, you don't have to worry about this hero except for her arrows. And because she doesn't have any setup from the Ember Spirit, she's not going to land any arrows, or she shouldn't be landing arrows. Any arrows that she lands are going to be pretty amazing, considering they don't have Ice Path or anything like that to set up. So Mercy should be more or less fine. Up on the top lane, Centaur, he has to worry about, for sure, disable Shackles. You click Shackles, and they get shackled. You click Fire Blast, and they get Fire Blasted. And though Centaur is very tanky, he's not that tanky. But overall, I don't think this game is going to be seeing that much action early on. If it was a 3v3 situation, yeah, probably action everywhere. But obviously, we are not in that situation right now. Zeus is going to actually be getting 2 points Arc Lightning. This Zeus build is very, very interesting. And by interesting, that's kind of just a polite way of saying I don't like it. I mean, your damage source comes from Bolt. I guess if you're going to get just a lot of harassment on the enemy, then Arc Lightning does get better slightly if you level it up. But this is a skill point for an increase of mana cost of 5, not really relevant, but only 15 damage increase. That doesn't seem worth it when you're trying to just harass one guy. In fact, that seems really bad. Like, I will not do that, ever. That seems just like a terrible idea. As opposed to 75 damage increase? Yeah, it sounds a lot better. At any rate, Zeus is out of mana. They're going to try to corner Attila. He does have a hoof stomp, but he's going to get shackled. Fire Blast is going to come in from the side. The Chain Stun almost going to be perfect, but it's not going to be necessary that it is. Waveform forward will kill off Attila, the Centaur, down on the bottom lane. Easy disables, whereas the Tidehunter doesn't really have to worry about that, as said before. He only has 1 CS, so Tidehunter is not going to be getting that much gold and experience off of this lane, but still, at the very least, he's not dying. Pumpkin's Revenge actually going to find himself a haste rune. Now this Viper, he's going for the suggested skill builder, the one I suggested, and he will be able to protect himself somewhat versus this Zeus. Magic Stick also going to do the same thing, and actually going to pick up the headdress. I actually really like this from the Viper. It's not very common that you see this item picked up as like a first item. Does he even have boots? He does have boots, so boots into headdress. It's very rarely seen. If you're going to be getting for a mech, 9 times out of 10 you want to get the Buckler first. But what does Buckler do against Zeus? It pretty much does nothing. Whereas the headdress actually gives you some handy regeneration. Like, it's only 3. It's nothing too huge. But hey, 3 is a lot more than 0. And I'd rather have 3 than 0, and it'll help him just a little bit in this lane. And hell, it's also part of his item build, so it's not like he's deviating too much for it. Do see rotation now. Grim and Grant going to be looking for this Zeus, but Zeus definitely know that something is up. Tidehunter is going to see the fact that there's no one on the top lane, and Zeus, oh, don't go there, Zeus. If you get hit with an arrow, then he's just going to die. Viper Strike is out, but there's the haster, and he is off like a bull with gas. Still, he's going to take a lot of damage from the Viper Strike, but that is the weakness of having no setup. I mean, they're not going to land you might land a nice path like that. It's going to be very unlikely that you do, but there's no chance that you are going to land an arrow, especially if you don't expect the enemy to be packing a haste room. They're going to try to go for top lane, however the creep wave is going to intercept them perfectly, and that's going to mean that the Tidehunter has quite a bit of time and space in order to get himself to safety. He also has an anchor smash. He's going to first of all dodge the ice path. That's a great way to start, and well, that's it. Tidehunter just going to walk his way out. In the meantime, bottom lane, Morphling has found himself a rather fast hand of Midas. Getting the first blood kill on the Centaur is certainly going to help him there, and then the fact that he's just last hitting very, very well, like 6 minutes in, and he has about 6 per minute. That's pretty much the ideal spot for any hard carry, and it's usually what you see when people are in 1v0 lanes. Oh, but Pumpkin's Revenge, that was nowhere close. Grim, you really have to work on your ice paths, bro. They could have gotten a kill on Zeus if they had a Viper Strike. I think they probably could have as well if they got anything else on the Zeus, and Ice Path would have killed him, but unfortunately, Grim is going to be missing that one, and now, I mean, they secure the regen rune, I suppose, but getting a kill on Zeus, slowing him down any way you can is going to be huge, because Zeus, he is a very powerful early mid-game hero if he, gets maxed out Lightning Bolt. If you kill him off, then he's going to be in that weak game phase for much longer. By the time it's like 20 minutes in and mid-game starting to roll around, he'll still be a quote-unquote early game hero, and that's where Zeus really gets weak if you manage to do that. It should be where he's at his strongest, but instead it'll be at his weakest, if that makes any sense. Regardless, letting him get away is not entirely backbreaking either. Really, the only threatening hero for Phelps right now is Chopperino down in the bottom lane. Midas this quick has to be addressed, especially when you are working with no such Midas on your end. Like, King Liger is not CSing as well as the Morphling. He does have to deal a little bit more with the Tidehunter than the Morphling has to deal with the Centaur, but he will be able to get his farm up somewhat. But if they let this Morphling just sit back for too long, then it'll be a very dangerous situation for Lena Dota. Like, a Morphling with this much farm is terrifying. And so far, the supports for Lena Dota haven't really been doing that much. We're going to see another completely whiffed Ice Path. There is not enough mana for Tidehunter to use Ravage just yet, but I don't even think he needs it, honestly. He has now a chance for a 3-man Anchor Smash. Use it. Or Ravage? Use something, bro. Come on. He's going to bait everyone in. Now's the Ravage. Onto 3. Stampede is out, but it's too late for 2 of them. Mirana's down, and the Thunder God's Wrath. That's 3 down. That was an elaborate bait from the Tidehunter, and that was perfectly played. That's 3 heroes down for Lena Dota as they clean everyone up. 2 ultimates being used. Surprise magic damage from the middle lane as Zeus unleashes his payload as well. That was picture perfect. It actually does not get better than that. Lena Dota are now even more so on the back foot. Like, even off this janky Zeus start and the janky Zeus build, it's fine if he's going to get these kills. Really, he just needs bottle, maybe get himself... ooh, Tidehunter went down. Tidehunter wasn't supposed to be there. Why was Tidehunter there? I don't know. But, you know, get yourself a bottle, maybe a set of Arcane Boots or a Soul Ring, and then you really don't need anything else. Obviously, Yule's Scepter really helps in keeping yourself alive, maybe a Force Staff down the line, but Zeus just needs levels, and he has hit pretty much his peak. Very much so like a Pudge in that regard. Anteater's still trying to pressure the lane, is going for a mech, but he's going to have to worry about this rotation from Bubble and as well as the Shadow Shaman. They are not going to be able to do anything, though, as it is daytime. And you would have to be a fool to get caught by that if you are the Viper. It doesn't really matter, though, just because 4-1 and they're just going to stay the course. Mercy up on top lane is actually doing quite a bit of damage to Kin Liger. He's not going to be able to get this kill, but the Anchor Smash is going to be doing so much damage, even force out the guard. It's a completely unnecessary thing for the Ember Spirit to do, is mostly just out of panic. There is no Zeus ultimate for another 5 seconds, and that's not going to be lethal anyway, so kind of a wasted skill right there, and Anchor Smash is physical, so it's not going to matter. He also cancels a salve. Wow, Mercy is doing so well in this top lane. Like, first of all, setting up for that 3 for 0 is good enough, but also making King Liger's life a living hell. This Tidehunter is doing his exact perfect job. That can't be said about the Centaur. I mean, sure, Centaur is getting, he's level 7. He's getting a lot more CS than the Tidehunter. That's fair enough. But he's not pressuring the Morphling at all. Like, Morphling is still last hitting very reasonably. He's getting his levels up. He already has a Midas, so even if the Centaur was doing a better job, it wouldn't even be relevant. This Tide is just doing so much work up on the top lane. Still have yet to see a good amount of support rotation from the Phelps side. And Ogre, Shadow Shaman, they're pretty capable. Mercy up top is getting hit with an arrow, but that's pretty much a point-blank one. He's going to take a level 1 Starstorm as well. It's not going to do jack. Mercy now going to try to go strong versus Grim. Ice Path, oh my god, it's going to land, guys. But is it going to matter? That's an entirely different question. They're going to stampede forward, looking for the chains. Mercy has a Ravage. This time it's not going to set up for anything. It's going to be Lena Dota bringing in the cavalry. All 5 heroes, in fact, up to the top lane. And Phelps, their tower is going to be pushed. The question is, can they defend this? They have not enough to defend it. They need a Ravage if they're going to. They don't want to bring their Morphling up there. He's perfectly fine farming down there on the bottom lane. But their tower's going to take a lot of damage in the meantime. It's only level 1 Liquid Fire, actually, so maybe not that much damage, but it should be enough.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Tower's going to be fortified. Tidehunter has a respawn, and he does have a TP scroll as well. And it seems like Lena Dota are going to respect that fact. Here comes a Tidehunter. Once in, Ice Path is going to cancel him out, and he's going to get the Gush out first. Now Pumpkin's Revenge is going to come in. Where's the lightning damage? There it is. Extra damage versus flying types for sure, as will the Ether Shock. Look at this Pokemon synergy going on right now. It's going to be a kill on the Jakiro very easily.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Actually, he should be a Dragon type, so reduced damage. That was reduced damage. Did you see how much damage he took, guys? Holy crap. Zeus is OP. Clearly very, very powerful. Doesn't matter type advantages, disadvantages, this guy's going to be trucking. And now suddenly it's Lena Dota who are on the defensive. This is only going to be a 4-man push for Phelps, but they have Thunder God's Wrath, Lightning Bolt, as well as a Ravage right now. So even if it is technically numbers down for Phelps, they could still take a very nice fight here, or they could just leave. I mean, that's good too. No sense. No, I think no. Going for the fight there definitely was the good decision. I mean, I guess their pushing is so bad without Serpent Wards that they couldn't have done anything anyway, even if they did take a great fight. But yeah, okay, I mean, because they don't have any pushing, I could see going back as the correct decision. And they're actually baiting Lena Dota into coming back here. This is going to be a bad decision, guys. There is a Ravage awaiting. And although they do have Stampede, they don't really have anything else to get themselves out. Arrow's going to be thrown. We'll spot out the Tidehunter. But do they care? Does the Tide care? The tower's going to take quite a bit of damage. This is going to be put down very low. Going to get a short hex and force out the Stampede to disengage. In fact, everyone's going to disengage fully. However, Lena Dota, they're going to bring in, once again, all... This is a heavy amount of investment that Lena Dota are spending in order to get absolutely nothing done. In the meantime, the Morphling is still in the bottom lane, now has a Yasha in tow. Zeus is farming on the middle lane. And Lena Dota, they're just spending all this time and effort swapping lanes and everything just to get nothing done. They're going to try to go for the Zeus, but once again, Ice Path is off the mark. And Zeus is perfectly fine right now. Phelps, they're 100% okay with this status quo, because their Morphling is farming uninterrupted. He has 80 CS 12 minutes into the game. That's an absurd amount of CSing from him. Plus, you know, some of that is Hand of Midas as well. Plus, he might get a tower. Yeah, and he will get that tower. This Morphling's farm is just ridiculous. It's sickening. He's 7,000 gold. He's going to go for a solo kill into Attila. Thunder God's Wrath will kill him off. It should kill him off. Okay. Mercy. Zeus is a merciful god. Man, if I was the Morphling, I'd just be yelling into my microphone, Zeus, hit that button. 225 times 0.75. That's like 50. Oh, that was definitely lethal. That was for sure lethal. But Centaur is going to escape. I mean, why get a kill when you could save it and try to get more kills? Maybe. I don't know. That was a mistake. Like that. There's no way. There's no two ways around it. Phelps had miscommunication or something, and maybe they actually knew the math and they saw the Centaur had enough HP. Because I'm just doing it in my head. It might not have been enough, but it looked like it was enough. Regardless, they're going to use the power of the Threat of Ravage to push the top lane. Still, this is only 3 heroes from Phelps. They have Thunder God's Wrath waiting in the wings, still only level 1, and have a Morphling farming. Lena Dota, their late game is not too impressive. This Ember Spirit is getting pressured very hard in this top lane, and maybe it's just this that they're waiting for. A Blink Dagger on Centaur. That could start some plays. Not the fastest Blink Dagger in the world, but fast enough in order to make a large impact. Assuming he could actually find initiation on someone. But again, that's going to be very difficult. This is the part where Lena Dota are pretty much at their strongest, or compared to Phelps. They have a mech on the Viper, they have a Blink on the Centaur, doesn't get any better. But they're going to be fighting into Serpent Wards and a Ravage. That's pretty tough. They are going to rotate around and try to look for potentially an arrow to start this fight. The fortification is going to slow them down, but it's definitely not going to stop this push. This tower is forfeit. The question is, can Lena Dota get anything else off of this? The answer should be no, because all their positioning is now revealed. And arrow's going to be thrown. If anyone gets hit by that, my god, that would be embarrassing. But now they're going to try to charge forward. There's a Fire Blast. Ice Path is going to catch Bubble. Ravage is going to be thrown. Going to catch 3. And that's going to be Stampede forced out as well. Grim is going to survive. Where's the Thunder God's Wrath? It's not there. He doesn't have enough mana. Here comes the Ember Spirit. Now it's going to be Rat-a-tat to drop. Now the Thunder God's Wrath is going to take the second kill. Bubble is going to land another Fire Blast, but it will not be enough. No multicast on him, in fact. He just hit level 6. Now the Blink forward from Attila. He will be trading his life for the Ogre. Ultimately going to make it a 3-for-3 fight in favor of no one really. I guess slightly in favor of Lena Dota, losing their 2 supports, but really, that's completely fine with Phelps. Like, though it was an even trade, they got the tower, which is already enough to make it an advantageous trade for them, and they got the Morphling free farm. Like, as long as these fights are even for Phelps, it's going to be them taking an edge, because Morphling was not there. That was a 5v4 fight that Phelps took, fought, and came out even. And now the Morphling is getting a dangerous amount of farm. He was already getting a dangerous amount of farm, actually. He has the workings of a shotgun with the Ghost Scepter. He could even change his mind and go for a Mantis style if he so chooses. And Lena, they're completely ignoring this problem. And that is not a good way to do it. It's only a good way to handle the problem if you had someone who can carry just as well, if not better, on their own team. Ember Spirit is not that hero. Viper is not that hero. However, a Blink Hoof Stomp is going to be enough to bring him down very low. He has a Ghost Scepter still, now completely out of mana. Chopperino can't even gank him. That was kind of a weak attempt. He's going to get hit with another Stomp Double Edge. That will be enough to kill him off. No support coming in from Phelps. Kind of weird not seeing that. But now Tidehunter is going to come in. It's a little bit too late. That's the pickoff that Lena Dota desperately needed. And that's the power of the Blinking Centaur. You can do this once you get a Blink, and they're going to go for it one more time onto Mercy. Blink, Hoof Stomp, that arrow was nowhere close to anything, but with the Viper Strike, they should be able to take him out, even getting a TP scroll out of that as well. Lena Dota striking back, getting a couple kills here and there, yet still Phelps should be more or less okay with this status quo. Mid lane, Ember Spirit going to jump away from that one, so no threat there. Ravage is going to be up at another 20, and once that happens, Phelps are going to look for another team fight. Use the threat of the Ravage or just the power of Ravage in general, in order to push this tower. Get the Serpent Wards down and then try to straight push it. In the meantime, Morphling, although he does have Replicate, still just wants to farm away. Has a Hand of Midas that he could be using right now, but instead he's going to decide to waste gold and not use it. And he is just going to be happily farming away. Lena Dota, one pick on the Morphling certainly is nice, but it's not really going to be enough to stop him farming, that's for sure. They're going to blink forward, go for Pumpkin's Revenge. Fire Blast onto Attila. Though the damage is already flowing onto the Zeus, he will get Force Staffed out. He will stick up and then bottle up. It looks like he will be fine. Actually, he lives. Now the jump forward from King Liger. If they have a Ravage, that's going to land on 3 if they use it. There it is. And now the Fire Blast follow-up. Mercy is all alone, however. Thunder God's Wrath going to bring everyone low. King Liger might die. No, he won't. He's still going to be fine. No more follow-up damage. Shadow Shaman's going to kill the Jakiro in the meantime. Now go for Anteater. Arrow's going to fly through, hit a creep, and it's Mirana to get struck by lightning and die. Attila's going to blink right into a Hex, and the Shackle as well. Anteater's focusing down this Shadow Shaman, who's going to pop the wards first before he goes down. And it will be enough to, I think, kill Attila. Oh, the Ignite should be able to kill off the Centaur. Oh, Pumpkin's Revenge, trying to bait Anteater into the wards, and it will be successful. Viper takes the bait. That's going to be another one fight for Phelps. They use the Serpent Wards, not exactly ideal, but Attila's going to blink forward for Mercy. Hoof Stomp will stomp in that Tidehunter and Centaur. Does both get to live and get a kill following. I think that is going to be still a fight that favors Phelps, and it is. It would have been a 1 for 3 instead of making it a 2 for 3. Again, that was a fight that they fought 4v5. Now the Morphling's in potentially a little bit of trouble. Blink Hoof Stomp is dangerous, and he will not be able to dodge it. Double Edge as well. The Strength Morph's going to start, but away for him forward. He could kill Attila. He is going to kill Attila, in fact. That was pretty damn suicidal by the Centaur. Morphling gets one for the trip home. Not really close to his Ghost Scepter just yet, or his Ethereal Blade just yet. But still, he's getting closer and closer, and his team is holding the fort. That's the really terrifying part. Like, they're going to go for Aghanim Scepter. I'm sure there's a Refresher, or no. There's a Blink Dagger in the works for Mercy. Why don't you have a Blink Dagger yet, Tidehunter? Seems kind of weird. You should have that by now. But a Blink Dagger on him, Aghanim Scepter on Zeus, and Zeus is just dishing. It's really terrifying, the state of this game for Lena Dota. Like, you don't have the workings of a pipe just yet. No hood on the Centaur. Nothing of the sort, in fact. Arrow's going to fly, hit onto Ratatat. There is a Morphling to potentially back him up, and Grant is all alone, actually, so Arrow or not, it's not going to result into any kills. Pumpkin's Revenge still just baiting over the mid lane. Lena Dota really not effectively using their time. They're constantly grouping up as 5 heroes, but their pushing isn't that strong. The Jakiro only has level 2 Liquid Fire right now. That's not the best if you want to push down stuff. They're going to still look for these team fights, but Ravage, status, up in 30. So they're going to try to stampede forward. Hoof Stomp onto Mercy, and then he gets hexed up. Mercy is going to be dropping like a rock, and he will go down. Bubla is going to pick a fight with King Liger. Not a good fight to take as an Ogre Magi, or anyone for that matter. He's now going to have the entirety of the Dire chasing after him. That's a 2 kill. Going the way of Lena Dota, with Viper still running around, still looking for more. Those types of pickoffs are not going to be fights that Phelps are okay to take, because you're going to lose a tower straight after. Chopperino's still farming, and Zeus is going to travel up to the top lane and farm that as well. Lena Dota, I don't think they're going to stop, however. They should have level 3. No, we got Macropyre. I mean, this Jakiro should be 1-1-3, I think. I think that should be the preferred build for Jakiros. That second point of Dual Breath doesn't seem that good versus Liquid Fire. Regardless, they are going to take a tower. And now that Phelps have a Ravage available, they will be looking to make those defenses next time. Still, Mercy is getting constantly picked off, and that's actually pretty troubling for Phelps. They had their Tidehunter doing so much work on the top lane, but he still wasn't getting that much CS. And that is, of course, going to lead to the deficit that we see right now. A Tidehunter 20 minutes into the game with no Blink Dagger. He should have had it by 12-ish. That's about when Centaur got it. 14 minutes is the exact time. But you should expect relatively same clips of farming from either heroes. I mean, double edge spam with Tranquil Boots or Anchor Smash spam, it should be relatively even. Yet now they're powerful enough to just go for a straight push. Deploy the wards, which I think was a little bit unnecessary. But hey, they're going to get the tower anyway, so maybe just a quick smash and grab. Take the tier 1 tower. There it is, Shadow Shaman. Going to take that one all the way to the bank. All the while, Morphling getting closer and closer to that big bad shotgun. Mass teleportations down to the bottom lane, in fact. Lena Dota, they are poking and prodding. They're going for a couple of pushes here and there. But really, they're respecting the Ravage. And Ravage has been destroying them in these fights. But you have to fight into it eventually. BKBs are going to be built by the Ember Spirit. It's certainly going to be helpful there. But that means it's not going to be doing too much damage. Viper shouldn't be building a BKB. He's going to be going for Ags. Maybe there's a BKB down the line for Centaur. But with a pipe in the works, it's unlikely. So playing around Ravage is going to be a very narrow line for Lena Dota. Mercy up on top. He's going to get this tower deny almost for sure. No, that catapulted quite a bit of damage. They're going to gush. The Mirana, look for a shotgun. There's Ethereal Blade. Oh my god. Yeah. That's one strength right there. Blink forward from a Centaur. He's still stampeding. Wants a hoof stomp. He will land it on Mercy. But Chopperino gets to survive. And, well, that's Morphling showing off his power. Now it's about the time where Chopperino's, all his farming is going to really show up. Because a Yasha Ethereal Blade with a Midas, 22 minutes into the game, is an absolutely disgusting amount of farm from him. And that farm normally would just be, you know, him just farming a little bit more. Or getting items that have very minor leaps of power, such as Manta Style, or, you know, the Yashas, the leap of power from non-Yasha. But Ethereal Blade is a huge leap of power from pre to post Ethereal Blade. Like, he could actually 100-0 people, and that's what he's doing right now. He's hunting with his Tidehunter. And King Liger, is he vulnerable to this? I don't think he is. But if there's any help at all, then he can go down. He's going to fight with the now fake Tidehunter. He will back off. So, no, nothing's going to happen here, or nothing should happen. Yeah, just making sure that nothing is going to be going on there. But still, the Morphling is able to 100-0. Let's take a quick count. Definitely yes. Definitely yes. No, probably no, and no. I mean, that's 2 yeses and a maybe. That's pretty good. And as he gets more farm, then it doesn't even have to be 100-0, because, again, he's going to be setting up for a harder Thunder God's Wrath, a harder Lightning Bolt, a harder multicast, which so far we haven't seen any of, but hell, down the line, it'll happen. Viper with an Aghanim Scepter, a nice little pickup for Lina Dota, a lot more methodical than the Ethereal Blade pickup with the Morphling. Right now, it's going to be just very passive farming, and I think this is kind of the wrong move from Lina Dota. They have to make to look these plays. I mean, they have the pipe, they'll have BKB soon. In fact, it's completed. Now's go time. I mean, I said before, this is where they're most powerful compared to Phelps. That was about when the Centaur just got his blink. That was actually 10 minutes ago, 14 minutes in, when they got the blink, they had the mech. They should have been looking for fights nonstop. Now's another point where they should be looking for fights. They have all their base items up. They're not going to get that much stronger. They're going to catch Bubla. That's going to be a nice little pick off right now. Arrow's going to be clipping on him as well. Ogre Magi down. However, there is a Tidehunter and a fake Ogre Magi. That's very clearly a replicate. Tidehunter is going to get himself to safety, and Moonlight Shadow is now out. Can they actually catch anyone? They're still going to try to kill off this Ogre Magi. Might as well kill it off. In the meantime, they find the Tidehunter. He does have a Ravage, but he really doesn't want to use it right now. He's going to go down with it still on his person, unless he just completely messes up in the Fog of War. It looks like Attila is not going to get the kill. He messed up. He juked them perfectly. Now here comes the Morphling from the side. Grant, do not go up there, man. Do not go up there. That could be very bad. Centaur's going to blink forward. He's going to find Chopperino, double edge him down. Strike Morph. He's going to quickly give him a lot more HP, but he will wait for him out from that situation. Now he's going to try to TP out. No chains are going to land. No mana, in fact. That's Morphling surviving. Still, they have Ravage, and they didn't actually lose anyone except for that first casualty in the Ogre Magi. Lina Dota should not take this as a signal to stop, though. They just take this as a signal to keep on going. Like, we didn't get anyone. That's fine. We are actually very low on mana, so maybe it is time to back off after all. So, Phelps are doing a good job at keeping the Lina Dota team off of their asses, just buying more and more time for the Morphling. Yet they have Ravage and they have Shadow Shaman wards back up. Maybe going for Aghanim's wards is going to be preferable for Ratatat, but they have pinged out the bottom lane. That's actually a defense, so never mind, that wasn't them, that was the Dire. But still, they can go for that bottom lane push. I mean, that seems like the most viable way to go. They have the Morphling Illusion in tow. They have a level 2 Ravage. They have level 1 Serpent Wards. Not the best at this stage, but still perfectly reasonable at just doing damage in general. And it is going to be all hands on deck for the bottom lane. Now, Lina Dota, they have their hand forced. They're going to tend to be the ones to start the fights. And with the push coming to their front door, it's going to be them ideally having a slightly better positioning and slightly more options than the defenders, or than the attackers. That's the defenders' option, the defenders' advantage. Unless this happens. Uh-oh, Mirana. Can Zeus actually just kill her off if he just dumps his entire mana pool into her? I think he can. He doesn't have Aghanims, but he's just waiting. I mean, I guess there's no rush. He's going to spot everyone out. He's going to spot that Remnant, and if they land anything, there's the combo. Not enough. 30 HP survives, but Peach's Remnant's going to jump for another chain lightning. Grim also dropping very low. Will get struck by fire, and he will be brought down. Ratatat in the back end is going to be brought down as well. Mercy has a Ravage, but he doesn't want to use it onto this BKB Ember Spirit. Seems like a bad idea. He's going to wait for that timeout. It's King Liger taking a lot of damage. Now the Ravage is going to flow. Not going to clip the Ember Spirit. They're going to catch only Attila with that Ravage. Not the best, but it will be more than enough. That's a 3-for-1 trade for Phelps. The Serpent Ward's still working on the tower, and they will be able to bring them down. Chopperino is going to teleport home safe and sound. Still has a replicate out. Where is it? It's right in the middle here. The tower's at 11 HP. Bubba's going to give that a tap. There it is. Tower destroyed, plus a 1 fight for Phelps. Nothing that they really should do here any longer, though. There is nothing that they should do here any longer. They have an Agams completed on Zeus, or they should. Yes, they do. Once the courier gets his lazy flying ass out there, they will have that completed. They have Manta Style in the works for Morphling. They have nothing new on the Tide Hunter, nor is there anything new on the Ogre Magi. Shadow Shaman looks like he might have his Aghanims completed as well. Yes, he does. So Aghanims, or double Aghanims for Phelps, plus almost a Manta Style for the Morphling. And once they have their Ravage up again in 90 seconds, they should be looking for yet another push, because these are going to be only level 1 wards, to be fair, but Aghanims makes them pretty damn devastating. Doubles their damage up to like level 3 Serpent Warriors. Fantastic. The value is true. The value is there. And now it's time for Lina Dota to strike. What is going to be their course of action? Clearing out a giant ancient stack is okay, but it's not going to win you any games. Again, BKB Ember Spirit, we saw the weakness of it. He was in the fights, for sure. Like, he was forcing the Tide to not use Ravage, and that's fine. But he also wasn't doing any damage. So he needs a damage item, and it looks like with the Gloves of Haste, it will be a Maelstrom for Ember Spirit. Pretty good item on him. You get a lot of Chain Lightning, and after BKB, it's a pretty logical progression. Like, you're immune to magic damage. You should be able to do some damage in the meantime. Get a very cost-effective damage item. Battle Fury, probably a little bit too late for that. And the crit, it's okay, but I think the Lightning... Actually, they were both pretty good. I wouldn't mind seeing crit or a Maelstrom for the Ember Spirit. But regardless, the Tide Hunter Ravage is going to be up in 30, but it looks like Phelps are going to be more than comfortable to just roam around without it. Invis Rune plus Bloodlust on Zeus. He's moving very quickly. Plus, you can't see him, so that's annoying for Lina Dota. And they don't have any... Do they have any protection? They shouldn't, and then they don't. They shouldn't have a substantial amount of protection, rather. Looks like it's going to be a straight push over towards mid. They have the Serpent Wards, and they're going to force one TP out. It's going to be the Centaur with the Blink Dagger. It's not the hero you want to be fighting into. Now the Hoof Stomp's going to land onto Bubla, plus a fake Zeus. He's going to take the bait. Double edge onto 2, and Chopperino's going to jump in right into an Ice Path. Lots of damage onto Attila as well as Grim. Where's the waveform forward? He gets stunned by an arrow. Chopperino taking so much damage hitting the macro fire, but he will be fine to survive. And now the Jakiro is going to be burned down in an instant. Waveform forward from Chopperino. The Ethereal Blade combo not quite there. He's going to try to TP out from this situation, and he should be able to make it out alive. Attila doesn't get the blink out. In the meantime, the back end, King Liger is running away from everyone else. Lightning Bolt plus Chain Lightning, Arc Lightning rather. It should be enough to kill off this Ember, and it will be. That's a 3-for-1 again. Serpent Wards were cleaned up. The tower was defended. But Morphling, once he's back up to full HP, is going to rejoin the rest of the team, because the most terrifying fact about that fight was that Lina Dota did not use, or Phelps rather, did not use their Ravage. So they could just keep on going. Thunder God's Wrath, yeah, it's a skill that you would like to fight with. Fighting without that skill is not exactly ideal. But they're powerful enough to get over that and be completely fine. Or they could just wait another 30 seconds. Like, at level 3... I guess it's actually the same cooldown on all levels. It just feels like a lot longer of a cooldown at low levels, but it's 90 seconds flat. It's a very short cooldown as far as ultimates are concerned. Like, it's 120 on Serpent Wards. Should be a little bit more than that on the Ravage, yeah, 150. Chopperino does unfortunately not have travels, nor does he have any replicates out on the field, so he's not going to be able to rejoin some fights. Yet split pushing this bottom lane and just being a constant nuisance to Lina Dota is going to give Phelps more and more of an advantage in this game. Not too huge, almost 10k, almost 75 experience, and 10k gold. But still, it is quite hefty. However, this is a bad situation now for Phelps. They are pushing only 3 heroes in the top lane. They're feeling perhaps a little bit too comfortable with their position in this game. They have to be wary. Blink forward from Centaur is going to not land the Hoof Stomp on Rattata, but he does turn off the Hex that will slow him down from the Stampede. The casualty of the Shadow Shaman is something that Phelps should be more than happy to take, especially since they bring out the pipe. Now it's going to be Chopperino on the bottom lane. He's going to run into Anteater instantly to Manta Style. He could go for this Viper kill, but he's going to decide not to, in fact. Still, the illusions are going to bring him down fairly low. That was just like 2 right clicks and some illusions. Phelps, please don't crumble right now. Like, this is not what you should be doing. You should not be pushing here with 2 heroes and ancienting with 1 and then roaming around with another when none of them can join a fight. They have a Ravage, technically. They should just be looking to get a little bit more mana for that. And then once the Shadow Shaman is up, they should be looking for pushes. I sure hope this isn't one of those games where we just see teams do nothing, and then when they just are sitting on ultimates, because that's just the worst. Either way, they're just going to keep on farming it up, and Lena Dota, they don't really have that much item progression that'll make them too much more powerful. BKB on Viper certainly is nice, but I don't know if he has enough threat to really make that BKB worth it. Pipe, now Blade Mail on the Centaur. I mean, these are all okay items to have, but these aren't items worth waiting for. Like, the impact of these items are fine if they're your first item to get, but this late into the game, and you're picking up those items just for value, it's not good enough when you compare that to the Morphling, who's going to be getting Lifesteal, and then another Ultimate Orb, maybe a Scotty in the future for the Morphling. So he's going to be doing a truckload of damage, and that's a promise. And Lena Dota, their damage is slowly starting to taper off. I mean, they still have a lot of damage initiation with the Centaur, and that's all well and good, but now they're spotted out by a Blinking Tide, and that could be very messy indeed. Where are you going, Bubba? Join your team and go for a straight push. You have level 2 Ravage, and you have Serpent Wards. It should be an easy smash and grab in this tier 2 tower mid. But they're scared. Why are Phelps scared? I don't understand why they're scared. Oh man, guys. Oh man. It's going to be one of those games. I mean, they're going to be able to split push the Morphling now that he has a Replicate out. But they should just be like right over here. Actually, they should be like right over here. Because they have Serpent Wards. Like, you shouldn't be scared of anything. They're going to jump in and try to find Anteater. Going to drop him down kind of low with the Gush. Now here comes the Lightning. They're going to force out the Stampede. The rest of Lena Dota coming from the side. Attila's going to jump right in and annihilate the Shadow Shaman. Are they going to get anyone else? The Shackles are going to miss. Bubble's now going to try to TP out. I don't know why he tried to do that. They're going to walk straight into an Ice Path. Where's this Morphling? That was the worst. I mean, if you're going to play a fight like that, then yeah, you should be scared, because that was absolutely terrible positioning from pretty much everyone from Phelps. The Morphling trying to split push in the meantime is not going to get anything done. That is not how you're supposed to be running those fights. You're supposed to have the Morphling come in, and then you kill everyone. You're not supposed to have the Shadow Shaman 100 to 0'd. That's not what you're supposed to have happen. I don't even know how he dropped so low. Like, Shadow Shaman, maybe he got it with an early Viper Strike, and that might have been an option, but I'm pretty sure it was not him. It was the Tide who got hit with the Viper Strike, so I don't even know how that Shadow Shaman started that fight with, like, less than half HP. It didn't make any sense. Hoof Stomp does not do that much damage. And he has 1200 HP, so yeah, I have no idea what happened. Now Lena Dota can find a huge break, and they're going to go ahead and kill off Roshan. And it should be easy for them to do so. Phelps have nothing to contest this. Man, I don't know how this game got to this stage. I mean, it seems like Phelps are just friggin' terrified about Lena Dota. And after a fight like that, like, you could understand that they would be scared. But that was because they took the fight terribly. Like, that was not an accurate representation of how the fight's supposed to go. And now Chopperino, wow, that Ice Path was nowhere close to anything. Holy crap, that was off base. Did Morphling he just sold an item that was worth 1,000 gold. What was that item? Was that a Midas? Did he just sell a Midas? That's fine. Yeah, you can sell your Midas right now. He's going to get double orbs. And the rest of his team, without Ravage, they're going to try to do something. I don't understand what's going on, guys. It's like, hey, we have Ravage and Serpent Wards. Let's sit back and farm. Hey, we have no Ravage. Let's go and smoke up and fight without our Morphling able to help us. It really just doesn't make any sense to me, and I'm baffled and lost. But, yeah, this is exciting Dota right here. I would say it's like, oh, they're both playing this very tactically, but no, they're just making a whole bunch of mistakes. Like, this should be Phelps not doing anything right now. They have 20 seconds until they're Ravage. Although Serpent Wards are powerful, you don't want to be running and relying just on them, especially when your Shadow Shaman has shown that he is not exactly good at surviving these fights. And Lena Dota, they have to be looking to be aggressive. If they turtle this one out, unless Phelps completely dropped the ball, which after that last fight seems kind of viable, they should not be winning this in the late game versus a Morphling. Morphling is farming, but really Phelps have so much of an advantage right now. I don't know how much it is. How much is it? It's only 5,000. It's not that much, actually, in the numbers game, but that's mostly because of the distribution. Morphling on top is going to mean, you know, even though Centaur is near him, a lot of that is tied up in his Blink Dagger. Pipe is going to make him durable to the Morphling's magic damage, but not to his physical, and that's terrifying right now. Ember Spirit has it tied up in a BKB and drums, like all these nice cost-effective items that aren't doing that much. Mech, Aghanim Scepter, like they're all very tanky, but they're not actually doing that much damage. When you're dealing with Ravage, and when you're dealing with a Shotgun Morphling, you should be playing aggressively right now, because if you're just sitting on a Ravage, well, then it's not doing anything for you. They're going to run to a Zeus, and oh, Anteater's going to blow it. How do you mess that? Oh, no, he's not going to blow it. Chopperino didn't even notice. No map awareness at all from this Morphling. Maybe that's the problem here. He's going to wait for him out. He doesn't have a TP, though. He's going to get dug out a little bit by the Macro Pirate, but the Stampede forward, he's going to try to strength morph his way out, and now he jumps right back to the enemy jungle. How do you mess that one? Oh, Courier. No.
Courier has been killed.
Why? Why were you there? There's nothing there. Morphling messed up his hotkeys. That's what happened, guys. That is exactly what happened. He thought that he was controlling his replicate, but he's instead controlling the Courier because they're right next together or something. But, it's Lena Dota not investing too much into that Morphling kill, but they don't get it anyway. Because with 2 ultimate orbs, he is sitting on quite a lot of stats. Morphling probably should not be out on the map with this much strength. Doesn't really make much sense. But he should be falling back shortly. Maybe this is just going to go the distance and we're going to have an hour game. I sure as hell hope not, because this is not exciting enough for an hour game.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Lena Dota still have a Perseverance,
Structures are
an Aegis to work with, but they have not been pushing aggressively like they had an Aegis. Mercy is going to dodge a Blink Dagger, he'll be just fine. The bottom lane is just going to be pushed. I mean, they have a Ravage and a Blink.
Radiant's
There's no reason for Phelps to not take these fights unless they're just absolutely terrified. They don't have any vision, so I guess that's kind of scary. But this game is just not flowing the way it's supposed to. Like, this is just backwards Dota right now. Looks like Lena Dota, they're going to fall back after taking that tier 2. Play it safe for longer. I mean, their Aegis is going to time out soon. I mean, it's about time that they made a play with it. But this is not the time to stop. There are still more tier 2s to take. There's still the base to crack. They really need to get a little bit more because this Morphling is dangerously close to 6 slotted. He could upgrade to Satanic, ship out his treads for travels, and then buy another item to replace that scroll. And then aside from that, the Morphling's not going to get that much more powerful. And then at that point, if Phelps continues to sit back and do nothing, I mean, both teams are sitting back and do nothing when they both should be aggressive. So, yeah, then Phelps are just making an objective mistake. They're going to open up with a double multicast onto Attila. Lightning Bolt can drop him as well as the Ethereal Blade. Lots of damage on him with the Thunder God's Wrath. That'll be the death of the Centaur. Now they're going to chase forward. They have Dust out. They're going to see both Anteater and King Liger. Where's the Lightning? There's the True Sight, but the BKB is popped by the Ember Spirit. He's going to try to be elusive, and he will jump off to the right, but Chopperino is going to manhandle Anteater. Look at that damage. Like, really, were you scared about this before? You should be. This Morphling is terrifying. Grim is going to be on the run. King Liger is going to try to escape with Sleight of Fist. He will get smashed down. Pumpkin's Revenge is going to kill off the Jakiro in the meantime. Ember Spirit is back up. He does have a Fire Remnant, but he won't be able to jump very far, especially when he's shackled and multicasted. Wasn't that easy, Phelps? Wasn't that so easy when you just group up as 5 and then just fight Lena Dota? That was so easy. They could have done that literally 15 minutes ago. Literally, the game could have been done 15 minutes ago if they just did that before. But hey, it took a long time. I guess they really wanted their Eye of Scotty on the Morphling, because you can't end a game without Eye of Scotty. And now they're going to take Raxes. Easy as that. There's a buyback in the Ember Spirit. Arrow's going to fly through, hit a creep. Man, that creep somehow took the arrow when the Tidehunter's like this big. I don't know how that works, but creep is going to be taking the bullet for the Tide, and Rax is torn down shreds. There's a buyback from the Ember Spirit. What can he do about this? 4 are up for Lena Dota, and now should be about the time where Phelps wanted to disengage and back off. But look, they just take a massive team fight. They use Ravage. They, I guess, open up ideally on killing off a Centaur, so that's a little bit of an X factor there. But Chopperino plowed through everyone. Like, Viper's survivability? What survivability? This Chopperino Morphling is hitting like a truck, 300 a pop, not even mentioning his illusions, not even mentioning the slow or Ethereal Blade. Chopperino's huge right now. And Phelps, they should be looking to take probably the top tier 2 tower, or Grim. That's good too. Like, there's nothing you can do about that. If you're Jakiro, like, you don't expect an invisible Morphling just because rune spawns, and you don't play around rune spawns 41 minutes into the game. I mean, you never really play around rune spawns unless you see the enemy pick it up, but Jakiro down, rip Jakiro, and take a look at the Tidehunter cooldown, 40 seconds. He once again doesn't have any mana. I don't know how Mercy keeps on spending his mana pool so quickly. He might run into, oh no, Shadow Shaman is going to be chased down, and Illusion confirmed Shadow Shaman, but Shadow Shaman has another 40 until he has his ultimate up as well. The ultimate should be up at around the same time, and then I think it should be all hands on deck for the bottom lane. If Phelps just wait for that 40, get a full mana pool, of course, in the Tide, and he will be going back to base to do that right away. But get him his 12 seconds, group up as 5, slap the wards right in this area, ravage this entire thing, whole bunch of pain, death, and suffering. and then you should be able to crack second set of Raxes, because Lena Dota, they're just so far behind right now because they don't have enough damage on the Ember Spirit. They don't have enough damage on anyone, really. Like, their heroes are just building tanky, which is fine, but until you realize that Static Field takes percentage health reduction, and he doesn't care about how much health you have. This is not what you want to do, though. Chopperino and Bubla are not supposed to be here by themselves. Like, this and this should not be happening 42 minutes into the game. Unless this was, like, Tinker and this was Natured Prophet. Makes no sense, guys. It makes absolutely no sense. Are they really going to smoke? Okay, smoking with 3 is fine if they are going to rejoin. Okay, they're going to try to be hidden? Like, what? Maybe they're trying to bait some... Oh, okay, they know exactly where they're going. Ogre Magi, Illusion being chased down. Get in there, guys! What are they waiting for? What is going on? I don't understand. I mean, they see two targets there. Yeah, you should go on them. It seems like a good plan. Maybe they're just waiting for one. Attila's gonna get gushed up. Shackle, not used, just Hex. And now Shackle. No Shackle? What the hell is going on, guys? What is this? It's like, hey, I have a skill that disables him for 3.5 seconds. I better not use it. He just let the Centaur get away. I have no idea. I have no clue. And now Morphling doesn't even have a replicate. Where is he going? Morphling has lifesteal. Maybe they're waiting for an Aegis? Is that it? Are they really just pushing without their Morphling? Because this is pointless. You are not going to win that fight.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
This game, guys. This game. Holy crap. Okay, well, there's no way to sugarcoat it, guys. These teams are not playing that well. Like, that was just a glaringly obvious mistake. There are a lot of more subtle kind of opportunities missed kind of mistakes, which are a lot harder to see. But that was just an objective mistake. Any person could see that. Any League player can see it. They should have gotten that kill. Pumpkin's Revenge is going to get jumped. Here's another just objective mistake. Although that was just a smoke gank, so maybe not. Zeus is going to go down. That's 75 seconds where Phelps can no longer push. And Roshan, unfortunately, for Lena Dota is not going to be respawning in time, so they're not going to be getting any substantial objective off of that. But their Morphling for Phelps is still going up towards top. This tower is going to be forfeit. Yeah, Chopperino is going to plow through that very quickly. Nothing can be done. Satanic? No, Boots of Travels being picked up by Chopperino. So now this Morphling should be omnipresent. The only question is, can the rest of the team not derp up enough in order to let this Morphling just do his job and literally A-move into the Lena Dota base? Because that is going to be difficult. Because clearly Phelps have a propensity for messing up and making some clearly huge mistakes. Man, if they got the Shackle on Centaur, they would have pushed high ground and then that would have been GG. Yeah. But instead we're going to be in this game for another like 15 minutes waiting for Phelps to group up and push again. All because you don't cast Shackles. There's no reason to hold that at all. Like literally zero reason. Blade Mail number 2 now up for Lena Dota. On the Viper now. Like this guy is not doing that much damage. The Ember Spirit is going for his Battle Fury still. Standard 50-minute Battle Fury build on Ember. You know, it's pretty standard, guys. It's what the pros do. Tidehunter with some pretty good item progression. It's slow item progression, but they're good items. Pipe versus what the Lena Dota side has is incredibly useful. And then going for the Refresher Orb, I presume, with that Perseverance. And now it should be about time for Phelps to not go off and run alone and do stuff like this. It's time to group up as 5 so you don't get picked off, guys. Oh, they're going to spot everything out, and now Rattata is going to be cornered. He's going to try TP out. That's very ambitious. He's going to get killed by Roshan. I guess things could be a little bit worse, but still. They're just really scared about grouping up because clearly Ravage at Thunder God's Wrath isn't good enough to take a team fight, guys. Like, I don't really want to come across as the guy who's like, oh, that's bad, that's bad, that's bad. But honestly, they could have ended the game right now if they just went. So I'm kind of pissed that I'm still sitting here in this game that should have been over like 15 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago. They're going to try to go for Attila 2x multicast. Suddenly the Ogre's all alone. His Morphling buddy ditched out on him. And, okay, so we have level 3 Ravage. Are we going to really be waiting for a Refresher Orb? Maybe take your fight around the Roshan pit? But backing off to farm is not the correct decision, guys. That is not what you want to be doing right now. I mean, it's not a bad thing to do, but it's an unnecessary thing to do. Roshan should be easily taken by the Phelps side. All you need is Morphling in there. He has Helm of the Dominator. He could drop his Power Treads. He's going to get rid of them anyway. And he buys out. No buyback. He's going to finish the Satanic. I think that's worthwhile. The odds of Morphling getting bursted down is incredibly slim. And now that he has a Satanic, they're going to want to push. Is that what we see? No Roshan. They know that the Roshan is there, but they don't want to go for that. They want instead to just straight push without getting double life. Is this a cheese Roshan? No, it's only the second one. Chopperino, waveform in and start killing Roshan. You could solo him, I promise. I promise you could do this. I believe in you, Chopperino. See? You're literally taking no damage. Literally 0 damage. And now Lena Dota, what's their response? They don't know about this. They do know that Phelps are positioned around the Roshan pit. But, I mean, you don't really want to initiate on just one hero who's in the Roshan pit. Especially when it's Morphling. So, that's incredibly dangerous right there. It looks like this is going to be a free Roshan for Chopperino. Should be Power Treads shipped out. And then make a direct push down the bottom lane. There's Aegis down. There's the Aegis on the Morphling. And Illusion Rune. Oh, man, that's a good one. Or you can not grab it. There you go. Stampede forward. Pumpkin's Revenge not moving. Why are you not moving in Dota? They're going to blow up the Moron with this combo. Now Pumpkin's Revenge. He's still not moving. Get your spells off, man. He's going to get Force Staff with high ground. He will survive. Thunder God's Wrath is available. If they drop the Serpent Wards, Ravage Sword has been committed as well. Morphling did lose the Aegis, but that's not going to be a problem for Phelps because that's the only thing that they've lost. Attila in the BKB is going to come and try to go for Rattata, but he's not going to be able to get that kill. Here comes some random Hell Bears also. Attila's going to be chased down. Where's the Morphling? Where's he going? He's going up towards top to King Liger. That seems like a good way to spend your time chasing after an Ember Spirit. He will get the kill after all, and now it's going to be a Lightning Bolt onto Centaur. That's a complete team wipe. Zeus also kills off the Jakiro with his Thunder God's Wrath, and GG has been called, so we do not have to wait for Phelps to push in. That would have taken another 20 minutes, but Phelps take game 1 out of this best of 2, guys, and that is, I don't even remember their name anymore because it was way too long, but they're 1-0 in this best of 2 that hopefully is going to end a lot quicker with fewer mistakes in game number 2. Suburban Development something. Suburban Development Fund. That's their name. This makes sense right here. But we're going to move on to game number 2, guys. Don't go anywhere. Thanks for watching.